Hello?
Hello. Being a voice actor, you do a lot of English dubs over Japanese anime. Do you ever get to like talk to the original Japanese voice actors and get to know them, or like how does that work?
That would be really cool. No. I wish that was the case. I mean, like honestly, the only times I've ever actually seen the Japanese voice actors on a project I've worked on is, 2 years down the road when the game comes out, and the special features that you unlock when you beat the boss on hard mode, and the extra features section shows some, 12-year-old in a microphone speaking Japanese. I'm like, oh, that's my character. But that's unfortunately about as close as we come to that. I mean, we meet a lot of producers of games and directors of games, because they're the ones who usually come to work with us when we're actually doing the project development. But unfortunately, the Japanese voice actors, not much of a chance to meet them.
Okay, thank you.
Well, yes, sir.
When you're doing voice acting for cutscenes and stuff, what kind of materials do you get access to? Do you get cutscenes? Do you get the animatics? Do you get the storyboards? How does it normally work?
It depends on how good the people want it to end up looking. Some games will be fantastic and they'll have almost complete animation, and they'll go ahead and match the lip syncs. You can just see the physical actions of the cutscene and get an idea of the context for it, and then you can perform to that. The best way to do it, honestly, is just act out the scene, and they give you context, and then they animate it later. But as long as they give you context. Because there are games where it's like, just read the line, and then they pick the favorite one, and they come back later on, and all of a sudden they like edit the crap out of it to make it elongate and fit this sequence, and it sounds really awkward. It's a good example for that is, I think in Star Ocean for Xbox, there were a lot of cutscenes that we didn't have any context for. So we kind of did the best we could, and then going back and seeing the game, it's like, would have been good to know that they were, in that much danger, or it was, would have been good to know that these characters were attracted to each other, or would have been good to know that guy was a giant dog. These are things that we need to know in the booth, but producers don't think about it at the time, or maybe they weren't aware, or things change in production and they couldn't afford or didn't want to worry to bring you back for pickups because that would cost money. Who wants quality? But usually either, as long as the producer gives you context, the director gives you context, and if they have an animatic, which a lot of games give you animatics, and you can look at those, and that really helps out. And or on the games that were Japanese once, and they're doing an English dub, they'll go ahead and they'll probably have a lot of cutscenes already done to the Japanese, and you kind of have to match lip flap, which is very similar to doing ADR for anime. That can be more challenging because Japanese have very interesting staccato ways of doing things that don't always match up with the flow of English language. And if they aren't willing to reanimate the sequence, it leads to some very interesting performances. The William Shatner School of Acting works out well in that regard. But yeah.
Thank you very much.
No worries. Hello.
Is there any roles or games that you really wanted to work on but didn't quite get the chance to be on those? Or?
Yeah, I mean, if I can go back in time, I would love to have worked on the Baldur's Gate series, PC. It's still, you don't give it a clap. Currently, I've taken classes with her, but I haven't actually worked with her on a game project yet. Her name is Ginny McSwain. She's the voice director for pretty much all of BioWare stuff. So like Dragon Age, Mass Effect, those are all games, series I would love to be a part of. And I have many friends, like I'm good friends with Courtney Taylor, who is the voice of Jack in Mass Effect 2. And she just goes on about how fun the project was, or Ali Hillis was the voice of Liara in Mass Effect 1 and 2, and hopefully 3. Hopefully 3, because I've kept that relationship for both games. I have not cheated on Liara. Liara is my girl. I better get some bonuses in the third one for this. Miranda, I mean seriously, Miranda, you're gonna throw that at me?
Tally.
No. I was femme shepherd, no Tally for me.
Aww.
I was no, I was lesbian. I was the meanest bullback in the universe, alright? Paragon, Bulldog, still yeah. I was going somewhere with this. Hi. But no, as far as like actual dream roles and projects, I'd love to work on the Witcher series too. I did all this research. I just love Witcher series was my favorite RPG since Baldur's Gate, and I'm like, oh great, where are they casting this? Where are they casting this? And like, oh, in England. So that's cool. You guys got that game. But also case in point, it's fantastic voiceover. So yeah, I thought The Witcher and any Bioware stuff I'd love to be a part of. I used to say Final Fantasy, but series has gotten interesting recently. But no, I'm making no serious comment because I have many friends. Like once Ali Hillis is the voice of Liara in Mass Effect, is also the voice of Lightning. So, and I think she did a great job in the game. It's not her fault. Maybe the gameplay's a little linear, but you know, but yeah, I would love to be part of a Final Fantasy someday too, just because I grew up with that series, and you know, I've done a couple of offshoot Final Fantasies, like the Crystal Bears game or Chocobo Dungeon for the Wii. But I'd like to have a Roman numeral in there somewhere. You know, a lot of X's and B's, and I'm sure there'll be a lot of that coming up as it never dies.
Write a panel series, it doesn't suck.
Ooh. Noted.
All right, thanks very much.
Thank you. Well, hello, what can I do for you?
Is it a kind of job where you actively have to look for work, or are you ever in a position where you can't take a role, or you have to turn it down, or is it more go out and find the work?
Like any sort of performance-based lifestyle, it's ebb and flow in both ways. You know, there'll be months and months and months where you're just not getting anything, and then there'll be months and months and months where you're just like, I need to eat, guys. Can I just get a break? You know, it really depends. And as is the nature of feast and famine, you take the work when you can get it, because you never know when it'll stop. And there are many, many very talented actors I know that go through very long dry spells that are just feel like, I don't understand why you're not booking. Like I will say I'm very, very thankful and very blessed to have had a very prolific year. And I mean, to the point where I fly back on Monday, have 3 video sessions on Tuesday, 2 on Wednesday, 2 on Thursday, 1 on Friday, and then leave for Burning Man that weekend. So I'm just like, but as stressful as that is, I'm really, really, really happy to even have that, because who knows, when I get back in September, I might have nothing for the next 3 months. So it changes from week to week, to be honest. I mean, there are some actors out there that are working constantly all the time, like D. Bradley Baker. If you're familiar with him at all, he's in pretty much every cartoon ever in the US. I'm working with him on Thundercats, but he's in like Phineas and Ferb and Clone Wars and all these other projects. He's in everything. Or Corey Burton, he does voices of Captain Hook and Dale Chippendale from Disney, and a bunch of other projects. And he just, these people, like, they are so good, they've been doing it for so long that they're working 2, 3 animation or game projects a day consistently, because everyone knows them, everyone uses them. So that'd be cool. But most of us aren't quite there. But so yeah. Thanks.
Do you have I'm guessing, do you have a preferred genre of game that you like to do work on, and also a genre that you don't like to do work on? Because I'm guessing you need a different style for all different, like shooters, you just don't, RPGs, certain style.
My favorite is RPGs, partially because I'm a huge nerd and love RPGs. Secondly, because they have the most dialogue, which means you have to get a lot of money to pay you to be in there for many hours. Like for instance, Star Ocean, I must have had 2,200 lines. I was recording 4 hours a day, 5 days a week for a month on that game for just my character's dialogue. So I was happy about that. Mind you, after a while you're like, oh god, if I have to say Cal disengage one more time, I'm gonna rip someone's face off. but you know, I'm very thankful that those projects do have a lot of work in that regard. As far as things I don't like, well, it's challenging a lot of the military first-person shooters. Like I've done a number of Call of Duty games, and that's just like 4 hours of screaming, like yelling, you know, grenade, get down, ah! And it's just that for 4 hours, which destroys your voice. You know, you finish up like, good job, Matt. I'm gonna go cry for a while. So those are more challenging games that I actually actively don't like. I've only done one. And it was interesting. I did one Japanese pseudo dating sim. Well, what's the name of it? Hold on, I have the name of it on my phone, so you guys can look for it and laugh. I also took pictures of some of the dialogue, so I can read those for you right now. It's that fantastic. Bear with me. It's called Rune Factory: Tides of Destiny.
Oh my god, I have that.
Well, I do a character named James, who's like some merchant guy who's like a little too close to his sister.
Oh god, I haven't played it yet.
Okay. Is it only in English or is it Japanese version?
It's English.
Okay, then
It's your game.
yeah. Then it'll
James, right?
James is the character.
Okay.
So you can go ahead and chat him up for a bit.
Can you sign my caricature?
Yes, I can. After the panel though. I have to read you some of the dialogue this guy has. It's fantastic. Actually, do I have it? I've never had it. Please tell me I have it. I have it. Damn it. Anyway, it was things like, this pudding is so good. Could you feed it to me? It was so wondrously awkward. Like I did a whole marriage proposal, and then like I had to do being denied the proposal, which was really sad. Or like, this is the happiest moment of my life, you know. And then like, you're pregnant? That's wonderful. We're having a baby, and it's just I'm like, really? I look over the director, and he's like, I go to the Japanese producer, he's like, go to the audio engineer, and he goes. So yeah, it was it was interesting. I don't know if I'd want to continue to do many of those per se, just because I mean, there's only so many times you can get your heart broken in the booth. Thank you.
Back again. I've got a question in regards to you said about a minute ago, agents and also demo reels. For demo reels, you've got advertising reels, character reels. Would you do a character reel for anime? Would you do a slightly separate one for a game, or would you just use the same one? And also, what advice would you give when looking for an agency and an agent to represent you?
Actually, those are fantastic questions. When it comes to reels, the standard is you have an animation and you have a commercial. That's kind of like the basic one. You want to do both. You don't want to say like, I just only want to do cartoons. You'll never work. Because for the most part, the money you start making in the beginning is through commercial work. Radio commercials, television commercials. While a lot is interesting or as fun as doing game projects, that's where you start making some good money. And agents won't pick you up unless you're viable for everything. They don't want niche persons. They want actors that can hit the whole spectrum. They can send out for everything. But in the past year or two, because video games have become such a prominent element of the industry, a lot of actors are actually producing their own individual, what's called interactive demos. Because animation, for the most part, like cartoons, is a lot more heightened, kind of over the top, and like, whoa, what's going on, Tommy? That kind of ridiculous scenario, where video games are a lot more cinematic and being more, realistic and intense performances, more low-key. And it's kind of hard to mix those two into a demo without sounding too strange. So a lot of people have now a separate animation demo, interactive demo, and then a commercial demo. So it's kind of this triad. So that does work out very well, actually. As far as agencies go, it's one of those things where agencies will only pick up a certain number of clients a year. So you have to make sure that you're competitive when you go in there. I have a lot of friends who are like, wanting to get in the industry and like, I recorded my first demo, I haven't done any work before. Can you suggest me to your agent? I'm like, no, like, I love you, you're a great person. no, you have to hit the street a while. You have to build up a resume. It's my reputation on the line whenever I suggest somebody to my agent. I want to know that I'm bringing you in there because I know that you'll be a great addition to the team too. And if you're not a working actor and you're not in the process of actually, have had projects go on in the past, you'd be hard pressed to find an agent that'll get you out a lot. So what you want to do instead is look for work on your own for a while. Like I said, through these Breakdown Express websites and things like that, casting websites, and then look for like startup agencies or small scale agencies that just open a voiceover department and are looking for people to focus on that. And then once you have an agent, while they're not as well connected to some of the bigger agencies, they'll work hard for you, and you have representation. And it's much better to go to an upper agency from a standpoint of already having representation, but you're looking for better rep, as opposed to I don't have anything. Because then they're like, well, how professional are you then if you don't have an agent? That kind of thing. And as far as looking for them, you have to hit the street. You go to different agencies and you drop off your demos or you email them to their main reception area and say you're interested in possibly working with them, and just do a lot of research and see where kind of shotgun it out into the world and see what sticks.
Thanks, Sam.
No worries.
Online games have just basically started using voice actors and I was actually wondering what's it like, because those ones go on for long periods of time, and if the voices are now being done instead of all this text, what's it going to be like?
Currently, I think it's awesome because it falls into RPG, which we discussed earlier, is my favorite genre. I am working currently on Guild Wars 2 as one of the playable races. So if you guys are picking up the male Norse folk, snowy, big, burly men, I apologize in advance for annoying the crap out of you. But the cool thing about that, like you said, is because MMO has so much story and so many quests and stuff, that's extensive recording. I've done 5 sessions, 4-hour sessions for that game, and that was all for a demo. Like it was for the demo they showed at, I think it was PAX East.
I know, like Star Wars has got already like over 1 million lines.
Oh yeah.
They're planning on doing it, and they're going to come out to be on the end of that.
Yeah, which I was like, that's what I want to be part of too. So many people have worked on that game, and I've just somehow not managed to get into that circle yet. It's killing me because like they need so many actors on that project. That, like everybody in the industry is almost everyone in the industry has been a part of the Old Republic game, and so I'm seeing like people like, oh man, I just finished recording there. I'm like, really? What was it like? But yeah, it's now that's becoming more prominent and as a presentation element. Hopefully we'll stick to it and there'll be more chances to.
The Secret World looks good at the moment as well.
Ooh, I've heard of that, yeah.
It's very dark.
Good, I like dark. Good dark, good dark. Whatever.